hear me keep moving on, even when the road feels long. Hope is here, your light's begun. Don't forget you're number one. Dear Me podcast, brought to you by About D Voice.
Amazing. It is so beautiful to be back here on DME podcast. And I am so sure that a whole lot of you who listened to the previous episode had benefited a lot from the conversations. And that is one of the reasons why we keep having these conversations, because we understand and we know that a lot of young people out there need help with matters, discussions that we talk about right here on DME podcast. And of course, my name is Omolmi, your amazing host. And right here on DMA Podcast, we say that you are number one. Today, we're going to be having another interesting discussion, something that is really important. Just like my guest said, this is something that is affecting a lot of us young people. Yes, this is something that is affecting a lot of us young people. There are a lot of us, or there are a lot of young persons out there who have missed their way, who have gone in the wrong direction because of this subject. And so it is so important and so critical that we talk about it at this time. And if you're a young person listening to this podcast, or you listen to DME podcast, make sure that you share this podcast with your friends, people that you love. Share it with them so that they get to listen and benefit from these conversations. Because if you are getting it right and your friend or a young person out there is getting it wrong, it is not going to be nice. And so without further ado, we're going to move in into the conversation for today. And I keep saying we. You might be wondering why I keep saying we, because of course we have an amazing guest, and she was in the previous episode and she is also here today. That is how loaded she is. And just for the sake of those who are just joining, or who are listening, or who would be listening for the very first time, our guest today is Dr. Ayomide, and she's an amazing person, an amazing personality, someone who is passionate about young persons, and that is why she keeps contributing to conversations like this. And this is just one out of so many other conversations and so many other gatherings that she contributes to. And so today, Dr. Ayomide is going to be sharing her experience with us again, or her perspective on this matter. And the discussion today is centering around relationship matters. And when I say relationship matters, I like to say matters of the heart. The things that has to do with boy and girl. I'm sure that we understand it. So relationship matters when it comes to you being a medical student or being a student generally. But then because she is a doctor and went through medical school, she's going to be sharing her own experience. And I believe that whether you're in medical school or not, this discussion is of course going to be beneficial to you. So as long as you're in the campus environment and you are a human being that has blood flowing in your streams, is it streams or blood streams?
Veins.
As long as you have blood flowing in your bloodstreams, in your veins. Thank you, doctor. As long as you have blood flowing in your veins.
Veins.
In your. All right, as long as you have blood flowing in your veins and you do catch feelings, you like a fine boy there's this boy that is signaling you and all of that, this information is something that is relevant to you. So let's get right into the conversation. Dr. Ayomide, how are you doing today?
Very good. I'm doing great today. How are you too?
I am doing amazing. I am grateful to God for the gift of life and for the opportunity for us to have this conversation. So I feel good. How has your week been so far? Would you say that your week has been a hectic one, or it has been... Let's hear from you.
It has been very eventful, taskful, and all, but I thank God it has been, let me use the word again, productive. I give God glory.
Amazing. So are you ready for us today?
Yes, I am.
Moving on to the conversation now, which is something that I haven't anticipated. And when it comes to talking about relationships and feelings and the matters of the heart, a lot of times we young persons, there are some of us who actually live in denial. Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this topic up, or why I love that we have this discussion. Because aside from the part that naturally or normally as human beings, we have emotions, we have feelings, we have things to do with the opposite gender. Although unfortunately these days we are having different kinds of things where we are saying boy, boy, girl, girl, which is not the order of things, like how God made it from the beginning. But then, in as much as this is something that exists and is something that we know, there are still some of us young persons who live in denial, where you can even see things where things like where a girl and a guy would be very, very close. They would be very, very close, like literally very close. They would call themselves besties, best friends, and all of that. But then when you ask the girl like, "Oh, I don't like him. Oh, I don't like him. Oh, there's nothing there." The boy would say, I don't like how there's nothing there. We are just friends. So I know that this might not be like, how do I put it? Should I say Jim way of starting this conversation? But then I want to start it from here before we get into the main ice, whatever of this discussion. So I want to ask you generally, do you believe or do you feel like it's possible for a young girl and a young guy, or young girls and guys, to be friends, very close friends, very, very close, and nobody is having any emotional thing like for each other, like they are not liking themselves in the direction we are thinking? Or is it true that they are just living in denial? And is it a wise path to follow? Or if we want to even start talking about this, it's good that we establish the fact that things would occur. There is usually something in the mind of someone. So I'm not saying that I'm not trying to say that definitely something is occurring or someone is thinking something. I just want to hear from you before we get into what the discussion is about. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've seen that happening many times, or I've even heard about it. But my own perspective to it will be that I feel like it's left to both of them to define why they are in that relationship. It may not be romantic. They claim it's not a romantic relationship, so let's keep it at that. So they have to define why they're in the relationship. So maybe it might be an academic relationship
Mm.
where they just talk about academic things or business, or so I feel like it's left to them to define. But the key point is, let there be a definition, because there is a thin line between this and situationship. I know that that's not where we are going to today. So a situationship is where you find yourself
Yeah.
in what looks like a relationship, but then it's not really a relationship at the same time. So
Mm.
you maybe are expecting a relationship, or your expectations will is relationship, but it's not. There is no tie, like there's no official tie, there's no formal knot to it,
Mm.
but it looks like a relationship. But then it is people who are in this situation where they are emotional, they have become emotional. A lot of things are going on in between, but there is no formal definition of the relationship. That's what a situationship is. So
Mm.
some people who do not have definitions may start out as, oh, just let's just be. And then due to the fact that there's no definition, it could turn out to become a situationship, which becomes toxic to you, which becomes demoralizing, which has negative becomes to begins to have negative effect on the persons that are expectants of what is not stated.
Mm.
So I would just say that it's very important that people have definitions to things, have a purpose. Don't just enter into any, don't just be there. Like if you are talking with someone, if you are relating with someone, there should be a why, and have the why at the back of your mind. Don't just be there. Don't just be floating. Always have a purpose in your mind. Always ask the question why. Why am I talking to this person? Why am I close to this person? And define it.
Okay.
Define it to yourself and let there be a mutual definition. If that is there, then I would say it's okay. And
Okay.
ensure that if you have definitions, then with time you don't go beyond those boundaries to both protect you and protect the relationship.
Amazing, amazing. So, so you're also saying that, okay, are you agreeing to the fact that, okay, if someone says that I and this person, we are friends, but then we are just friends based on academics. Would you say that that is also a definition? Does that pass for a definition?
Yes,
All right.
definitely,
So
definitely.
what if the person is in a situation where they say it out loudly that this relationships that I'm having with this person is based on academics, but then one of them knows that if this could just, so what would you call that situation?
It's a situationship. It's a
Anyways,
situation.
let's thank you very much. Let's move. Let's get right into the conversation for today. All right. So when it comes to talking about medical school and the experiences we have, people have been campus students, especially for the medical school aspect, it is the general belief is that being a medical student, you do not have time. You're very occupied. You're reading every minute, and all of that. And then a lot of times, a lot of people do not understand. They might be like, oh, this person is just exaggerating. This person is just doing too much. You should have time for this. You should have time for that. But then the reality is, people are really busy. People are really occupied. People are all of that, all of the things that come with being a medical student or being a student generally, because I want this conversation to not just serve medical students alone, even though we are having this conversation from your own perspective or from your side. Being a student alone is a whole lot. You're occupied, you have so many things to do. The question I want to ask now is that can you actually have a healthy romantic relationship while in medical school, or does something eventually have to suffer, like maybe your academics has to suffer if you're involved with someone romantically, or your personal life has to suffer? So can you really have a healthy romantic relationship while in medical school?
My direct answer will be yes, you can. It's a possibility, but then it would take a lot of growth to achieve that, because the question is just basically asking, but we all know that achieving balance takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self challenge. It takes a lot of growth. It takes a lot of understanding. A lot comes into play. It takes a lot of knowledge, you understanding knowledge with regards to balancing relationships with academics or with your personal life. So yes, it is possible. It is possible. It will it will have a cost, but yes, it is possible. And the cost to be, of course, self growth, but then it is possible.
Amazing. Okay, so the cost is self growth. So you're trying to say that you had to have grown to a certain level for you to be involved romantically with someone in medical school and not and not see it affect your grades or affect the outcome of your academics, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you say growth, how about some people who are probably fresh out of secondary school? Maybe they got admission early, might be a private or a public university. And let's say maybe they got into school at the age of 17. Because normally in our settings, a child should be, or a student should be done with secondary school by 16 and be in the university by 17, or max 18, except for other cases where some people are 20, 22, and all of that. But then normally the normal system at 17, you should be 16, you should be done with secondary school. So let's say, for instance, this person is fresh out of secondary school and maybe they are pretty or they're smart and they just seem to catch the eye of a lot of young men in school and all of that. And they're just in their first year of medical school or their first year of university. And then they are now romantically involved. Would you say that what would you have to say, like relating this to the question that I asked earlier? Would you say that it is a wise thing to do? Is it possible? Because when you say growth, maturity, do you think it is wise? Imagine someone listening to us right now is currently maybe a year one student and he or she is maybe 17 and they're already romantically involved. Someone has already asked them out. What would you say about that?
Mm. It's really dicey because
Mm.
it will be on personal basis of their ability to manage situations. It will be on a personal level with regards to their ability to understand what it would take to have a balanced life or to have a balanced academics, personal life and relationship at that early stage. So there are some people who have developed maturity early. And I will not say that you have to be this certain age to be mature. Some people have had the opportunity to experience things, to accept change, to accept growth, and they have gained maturity, like genuine, real maturity at a young age. But then this growth and maturity, or this knowledge or that you have, or your ability to, or what, let me just use the word maturity. Why do I want to be in a relationship now? What do I want to achieve? Why does it have to be now? Besides, you are starting something new. Like you are starting your university career, or not career, right? Your studies, or you just came in as a fresher. Have you gotten balance on that already? Do you think you have space? Because I know how it is to be a fresher. There is a lot of things that are new to you. University life is completely different from being in secondary school. You, for the first time, you taste independence fully for the first time, like as a fresher. And of course, new courses, you're meeting new people. There's a lot of new things going on. Do you think that putting on the relationship cap, do you think you have space in your hands to actually put on that relationship cap at this time? These are sincere questions that individual needs to ask. For most people, the answer will be no. The sincere answer will be no. But a lot of people will just feel like, okay, my priority right now is having a relationship, or my priority right now is to just, be among, or different people have different priorities. But let's say for a wise, sensible, mature purpose, career, and those things that you expect for a young person, then the person's decision will likely be a no, at least to get balance, to get a grasp of what I have on my hands. Then once I get a strong hold on it, then I can focus on something new, like a relationship, which is a new world, like a different ball game entirely. Do you understand? So the such person will want to take things one step at a time. Do you understand? So is relationship matters and all, is multifaceted, is complicated, and most importantly, it is personalized and individualized. I will not just come from the approach of, oh, if you are this age, you are not liable or you are not old enough. So
Okay.
it's, yeah, do you understand my point?
Yes, yes. But then to be on a safe side, the general thing would be that, okay, you are a young person, you're just getting into the university environment. It is wise that you actually take a step back to understand what this new environment is demanding of you, would demand from you.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
and to learn what is going on before you now say, even no matter how mature you might feel you are, it's just wise that you define your purpose and your cause before you start taking on relationship matters and all of that, right? All
Yes,
right, thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
Dear Me podcast, brought to you by About D Voice.
So, I'm really loving the direction that this conversation is going in, and so I'd like us to even get even more practical. These are questions that is going on in the minds of a lot of young people, young girls, young guys, and one of the things we do here on DMIT podcast is to attend to these young people. I have audiences from as young as 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 who are still trying to understand life, who are still confused, people who are fresh into university, fresh into campus, or young people who are still trying to get into the university space and all of that. So now I'm asking, what would you say to a young girl who is genuinely, personally, or internally pressured into getting into a relationship because it's a usual conversation? It's a conversation that usually goes on within people that she works with. So let's say, for instance, a girl gets into the university, and of course, when you're fresh into the university, you meet a couple of friends, people that you might not necessarily know. You do not know their values, you do not really know who they are, and all of that. And then, being just a naive girl or a naive guy, you get into friendships and all of that. For me personally, I feel like there are some people who would have been better off if they fell into circles of friends that would have helped them when they first got into school, but then they now turned out to become something else because they fell into the hands or the group of friends that whose goals and purposes was in another direction. Because at the end of the day, the kind of friends that you keep, the kind of people around you would affect the kind of person you are. So now let's say this is a young girl who is coming from a home where, okay, she doesn't really know much. She's just like a battleground and all of that. And she now tends to be in a circle of friends where they talk about men, guys, boyfriend all the time. And this is not necessarily who she is, but then now she's been pressured to get into a relationship, to find a boyfriend and all of that. Because a lot of times when she absconds or when she's like, I'm not really interested, they tend to look at her like, why are you behaving like this? And you understand how young people could be to themselves. So what would you say to such kind of lady now who is listening to this podcast, who is in this kind of situation?
I would say simply do you and be unapologetic about it. And how I will start answering that question will be from the aspect of do you with regards to your decisions
Okay.
you make choices that align with your goals, that align with your values, that align with your principles, and be unapologetic about it. You don't owe anybody. So be unapologetic about it. Number one. Number two, do you with regards to number one, I said choices. Number two, relationships, friendships. Keep friends that align with your values, that align with your goals, that align with your priorities. Do make friends that look like you, like that look like what you, the image you perceive of yourself. So there's a part of the question that says that that's not who she really is.
Yeah.
But my concern for this girl will be why she's in friendship that disalign with who she really is.
The thing is, she just got into school and then she just met up with this group of girls. And then they seemed like they actually float together. They're good
Yes,
friends. They
and
talk and all of that.
I completely
You know, it's not really
understand.
easy to just get out of friendships like that.
I
So,
completely understand.
okay.
I'm explaining my concern to this girl
Okay.
who understands that this is not really her, but still
Mm.
decides to stick with those friends or to even keep company with the friends that do not look like who she perceives herself to be. That's number one misalignment
Mm.
that needs to be corrected. So I understand that she's already in this relation, in this friendship, but I already talked about do you and be unapologetic about it. And I was describing it in the aspect of number one, choices, number two, friendships. If your friends do not align with your values, your goals, your aspirations, your values, your principles, cut them off and be unapologetic about it.
Mm.
You don't owe anybody any friendship. And let's say you haven't even made friendships with them. Let's say you are just starting out and the friendship has not really gone so deep.
Mm.
Then be sincere with yourself, be sincere with your values. Don't try to be among, don't try to want to flow, don't try to want to be, just don't try anything, just be yourself, just do you. Once you start trying, once that try enters into, you're already getting into disalignment. Once you are
Mm.
trying to be along, you're already getting into disalignment. Once you're making effort, you are doing something that is, you are being extra, you're already getting into this
You
alignment.
don't they miss road.
Exactly. What you should prioritize is being you and being the best version of yourself. So
Mm.
become the best version of yourself, not trying to be who you are not. Like that's completely off. That's off what we are trying to achieve. Do you understand? So for this girl, my number one advice to her is to re-examine her friendships, re-examine her relationships. She might need to cut off from her current relationships and make new friends that align with her convictions, that align with her sincere, not convictions that she's trying to align, the ones that she knows that these are the right things to do. And this is who I really am. And this is what I should be doing. Not try,
Mm.
not not just what you meet in your social setting, in your new circle, or your new on the new campus, or what is the norm,
The
or what
trend.
is the trend. Don't flow with the trend. Just do you.
Yeah.
Just be you and be very sincere about it. Then let's say you are even in good friendships.
Yeah.
According to your assessment, from time to time they may bring up opinions or they may bring up ideas, because different people have different errors that they have, like
Yeah.
very let me say wrong perspectives to things, or and you the person generally you might have perceived them to be good individuals, but of course maybe they might not be perfect, so they
Yeah.
might still have some errors,
Flaws.
flaws with regards to judgment, with regards to their definition of things and all. And maybe randomly or from time to time they do that, and you know that this is not right, or you know that this does not align with your goals, aspirations. Just do you and be unapologetic. If you genuinely do not feel you are not ready for a relationship, you feel you are not interested in it yet, you feel
Yeah.
there's no time for you, just do you. Even if your friends are in amazing relationships, even if your friends are in healthy relationships and non-toxic relationships, and they're
Yeah.
encouraging you that this is nice, like relationship is the way. I'm not, it's helping me academically, it's helping me emotionally, is everything. Why not? And maybe just like we previously talked about, that okay,
Yeah.
this person is in a right relationship, is making them grow, both of them are growing together, and that's your friend. But you know that you are not, it's not for you yet, it's not time yet. Just do you. And I'll tell you that your ability to build this skill is one of the very important things that will serve you long term in life. Your ability to stand on your own, your ability to not follow the crowd, your ability to have a conviction and stand by it
But it.
will pay you long term in life, will prevent you from long term distractions, will help you to resist negative relationships, negative pressure, will help you to focus on your purpose without
Yeah.
without being distracted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Because
distraction in the world,
yeah, because even
right?
as one goes on in life, like even at different levels and at different stages, you'll be faced with situations where you have to take your stand. And so this might even be an
Yes,
opportunity for you as a young person to learn to say, even if
exactly.
everybody is doing this, I am not going to do
I'm
it.
not,
And even if you are
yeah,
not comfortable with it, I
exactly.
am fine.
I exactly, exactly. So just now it looks like relationship, but in some
Yeah.
years' time, it won't look. It may not be relationship. It may just be something else that everyone is doing, but you are not comfortable with. You should be able to take your stance and follow your conviction, and follow your values, your
Yeah.
principles,
And if they are
and
even
maintain
being,
integrity.
yeah. And if they haven't been excessively toxic, just walk away from it. Friendship not be by force.
Exactly.
It is
I'm
not.
telling you. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Thank
Exactly.
you. Thank you very much for that answer. So now what would you say to a young lady or a young guy? I am sorry, my guys. This is both ways, but just like I emphasize a lot of times on DMA podcast, is that of course I'm a lady, so I usually tend to base my arguments around ladies and all of that. So, but then this is for both guys and girls. So if you're a guy listening to this, just note that it applies to you, even if I am making this example or if I'm using a female. So, what would you say to a young lady or young people out there or a young guy who constantly feels the need to be in a relationship? Like this person just got out of one and then they're in another one. And then those ones who also get into relationships because they want to prove a point like, okay, I'm a fine girl, I'm a hot girl, I'm a fine boy, everybody likes me. And then you just finish dating Abiodun, and then Abiodun left you, and now tomorrow or a week after you're already with Jumbo, and then you understand. Or for a guy, you were with Aisha today, and next tomorrow you're already with Bimbo. And so, what would you say to those kind of young people? Because, and believe it or not, in the society where we are today, a lot of young people see these as an achievement or as something. They see it as, and then they even use it to oppress some of their friends or their mates and all of that. So, what would you say to young people that are in these kinds of situations?
I would say that you such a person needs to self-examine themselves
Mm,
to be sure that they are not self-insecure.
mm, Okay.
and they are not trying to fill a vacuum or fill a void in the facade or with the mask of relationship. So some people might have these compulsive habits to want to be in a relationship. Reason being that they have a void, they have traumas that are not healed, that have not been dealt with. An example could be for a female, let's say you were from a dysfunctional family and your dad was never available. So you never had a male figure to feel secure in,
Hmm.
and you never felt that man figure in your life
Like
as a
the
father,
masculine presence, right?
the masculine presence in your life in the form
Mm.
of your father. And you always wished, when you saw your friends in school, when you were maybe in primary school and all, and you saw how their dad buys them gifts, or they talk about their dad, or like, I'll tell my dad for you, do you know the way they say, like, I'll tell my daddy for you, and
Yes,
all of those.
yes.
And then you don't have anyone to say that about. Little by little, trauma, injury forms. These are some of the things that cause dysfunctional, should I say, mental dysfunctionality. Let me just phrase it in that way. So now you're growing or you're grown, and then you feel the need of, you feel like you need to have a male presence in your life. It's looking like relationship, like, oh, after Shegun, Femi, after Femi. So you cannot, the void is there.
Hmm.
You want to keep filling that void
Hmm.
subconsciously. I would say that you need to examine yourself. You need to maybe
Check.
see a therapist, or you need
Hmm.
to do very deep self-reflection, meditation, sincerity, evaluation. But
Hmm.
for some people who are not able to do this, may need to see a therapist to
Hmm.
help them to unravel some of these hidden wounds,
Hmm.
traumas, and things that they need to heal from. Because a relationship requires two whole people.
Hmm. Okay.
It requires two whole people. That, a relationship is not about filling a void. It's not about you having a void and then the other person is helping you fill that void, or you
Hmm.
suffering you having emotional need and someone is
Yes.
helping you fill up the emotional need. No, you must be whole. You must
Hmm.
feel like you are okay.
Hmm.
You must be able to stand on your own. You must be able to thrive on your own. You should not feel like you need anybody.
Hmm.
You should not feel like you need anybody to
To
help you
feel
emotionally,
complete. Okay.
to feel complete. That Thank you
Hmm.
for that. You should not need that you need anybody to feel complete. You should
Hmm.
just be complete
Hmm.
before a relationship will be healthy. Because many of the times these dysfunctionalities are one of the problems, one of the things that end up causing variety of issues in the relationship, where people become needy,
Hmm.
become insecure, become like a lot of, the list goes on about how these dysfunctionalities reflect in relationship. So for your own self, for your own
Yeah.
well-being, it's important you heal. Number
Hmm.
two, if you desire a healthy relationship, a non-toxic relationship,
Hmm.
whether now or whether in the future, it's important you heal. Because if you carry on with the dysfunctionality, you'll keep leaving people, because by the time you want to choke this guy, because you're always on his neck. Like, if he does not call you, if he does not call you 10 times in 1 hour, you are not okay.
That means he
You
doesn't
will
love you.
you will feel like he does not love you, because he's not calling you. Like, how dare him? How can he walk, when how can he be at work and then I'm here, and then he's
Exactly.
not here for me in 5 minutes and he's okay? You hear people proudly talking about things like that. You can hear the dysfunctionality shouting very loud. And that man, Uche, if the guy that is in that relationship with you is Uche will still leave you, because come on,
Yeah.
like, you want to kill Uche. So you end up being with Uche, Shegun, and it
So
keep going,
many.
it will keep going on. And the more you keep having and detaching from them, the more it worsens your condition, because you keep having like, oh, he left me, and then number two left me, and number two left me, and before you knew, other things will start carrying your mind that, oh, is something's wrong with me, they're always leaving me, and it becomes more and more complicated. So find courage to face the real problem. Find courage to sit with yourself and ask the right questions. Ask the whys. Ask what needs to be done. What do I need to challenge? What is about myself that I need to challenge? What are my insecurities I need to challenge? What are my fears? What are my fears no longer? What is doing me? Why do I always need a man? Why do I always need a relationship? Shaming gongo.
I really like the angle that you brought this from, because a lot of people might not know. They might be thinking that, okay, they are into this or into that a lot of times because of maybe they are attractive, or maybe because they want to let people see them as, oh, she's always in a relationship, she always has a guy, she's not single, and all of that. But then I like the fact that you are saying that this person has to actually sit down and think, why do I constantly, it could be as a result of these issues that you mentioned. So it's actually important that we look into that, because a lot of our actions, it might just look like as if it's surface level, but then there might actually be deeper reasons why you are just the way you are. And I really love that.
Yeah.
I really love
And
that.
even for those, permit me to add this, and even for
Yeah.
those that pride in having so many people chase after them, even though it might not be a problem, there might be nothing wrong with it. It might just be that you are genuinely attractive. I would say that there's no harm also in doing a self-reflection and also checking, especially with the caliber of people that are coming after you. So from the caliber of people that are chasing after you, you likely have a clue on what you are should I say what you are portraying is a better word, but I really can't place it. What you are putting out there subconsciously. So because you may be subconsciously putting things out, or should I say not reflecting now. I'm looking for the
I would have
right.
helped you, but the word is not coming to my mind either. But then you can go on. I think we get it. We get it.
All right. So you should also do a self-reflection. Are you being seductive? Check yourself. Are you putting out a seductive?
But do you know? That I believe that there are people who get a lot of people reach out to them for relationship matters because they do make themselves available, like they put themselves out there showing that they are seductive and all of that. But then there are some people that I think I've heard a lot of Yoruba people say this. They say, "Oh, Lori Okuri," that whether they are seductive or not, these people just tend to have a lot of people flock around them. Like they just like constantly, men just constantly want to be with them. So you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. But it's still, there's no harm. Like I said earlier, there's still no harm doing a self-reflection and just constant evaluation. One should actually do that. One should actually examine oneself from time to time. Ask necessary questions and see if there's something you need to work on, grow, improve. Maybe ask reliable friends, or even ask the people why. Ask the people, like ask some of these people why they are actually interested in you. For example, there's an example I gave previously of that guy that talked about his girlfriend. Oh, she gets near, she gets breast. There'll be a kind of girl that actually still has these same physical qualities, but when her man wants to talk about her, that will be the first thing that will come to his mind, because she has other qualities, other more weighty qualities that
is
will be
beyond her
readily
body.
that'll be beyond her body, that'll readily come to his mind, because what she's putting out there consciously and subconsciously is nobody, even though she has it. She's pouring out fragrance, she's pouring out esteem, she's pouring out dignity, she's pouring out royalty, she's pouring out brilliance,
She's pouring out
intelligence,
value.
exactly.
Yes, she's not being an object.
Exactly. So she's not been. So these are some of the things that you can use to evaluate yourself and evaluate how people see you or how people are because for every, just like physics would say, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Reaction.
So you need to examine your reactions, because the reactions you are getting, because the reactions you are getting is equal to your actions, whether you consciously portray those actions or unconsciously.
And yes,
Yeah,
just
so
to
that's
add,
what I-
yes, just to add to this, I feel like for me, I think there is, it might not be scientific, but I think that there is, maybe it's scientific. There's really something about you inward as a person. A lot of times, even beyond what you say, your mind, there's something about your mind. Our minds kind of magnet. There are some people that they might not necessarily be naked out there and all of that, but they're like, we need this now, we need this one now, we should find now. Like, and some of them really take pride in the fact that a lot of people do reach out to them, wanting them, and all of that. So, like, some people have it as pride, like they are so proud of that inside their own mind, even if they're not saying it. So that actually also that really brings us to the part of reflection. You as a young person, do you enjoy it? Whether you are saying yes or you are saying no. There are some people that actually enjoy it. And so the fact that they enjoy the attention and all of that, it would keep coming. So one has to actually get to a place where you are sincere and examine yourself and look at yourself. What exactly I am? And then together with every other thing that you said. I don't know. Do you get me?
Yes, exactly. I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree with you, because the truth is that the way the mind works,
Y-
it your mind unconscious, you reflect, you
yes.
show, I mean, you portray subconsciously what is in your mind.
Yes.
You may not even know things that you may be happy, and then you want to keep a straight face, but your face will just be bright, and your face will be laughing without you laughing. So that's the same way it is. Even like, let's say you're in a corporate environment, and then you feel like laughing, but you're trying to keep a straight face. People that will see you will know that you want to laugh, but you're just trying not to, you're just trying not to laugh. So even if you are hiding it, that you wear some big clothes and everything, but your mind is not checked, even in those clothes, you will still attract that seduction,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you subconsciously be seductive. Your body action, your body
Yes.
movement, the way you behave, it will be seductive without you feeling like you are consciously being seductive. From your mind, you can call for um those behaviors. You
You can
understand?
attract such reactions to yourself.
And you can attract such reactions too.
All right. Thank you very much.
Dear Me podcast, brought to you by About D Voice.
So, moving on. I was in a conversation with a guy. This is a campus guy. So this is not some made up story or something. And he was like, a lot of girls on campus are very they are not content, that ladies are not content, and so a lot of them guys, they get to do whatever it is that they want to do with them and all of that, that they want to get things that they see probably some of their friends have and all of that. And so the question now is, what would you say to a young lady out there who is listening to us now, who is about to receive an offer from some guy on campus, because he actually seems like a gentle, handsome, God-fearing, a lot of God-fearing this day, but then he's rich and all of that, and then he's promising to buy her a phone, but by the side, he wants to get something from her. And you know what I mean by something. Do you understand? So, what would you say to such kind of girl? Because there are a lot of girls on campus who are pressured. For example, in my setting, I don't want to generalize, but then I believe this should be true to some extent. The kind of phone that you make use of tells a lot about you. Like, people grade you a lot of times based on the kind of phone you use. Imagine using an iPhone 17 and another person is using an XR. You're using an Android. So there's a lot of pressure. So some people are even using 14, but then some of their friends are using 16, 17. And so they want to upgrade. And at what cost? So there is a young lady out there right now who is about to to consider an offer from a guy. And the offer is, of course, he's going to do 1 or 2 with her and all of that. And then she would get what she wants. He would buy her a phone. Probably he would spend money on her and all of that. So, what advice would you give to that kind of young lady who is in that situation? And also, I'd like you to also speak to young ladies on campus who have a contentment issue and who whose self-esteem is based on what they have or what they think others see with them. And then as a result of that, they are making a lot of nasty decisions. So I would like you to speak on that.
Okay, I would say that one of the root causes of characters like this is an identity issue. And what I mean by identity issue, you are living your life or you are defining yourself based off other people, based off what other people think about you. You are more interested in what people will say about you, what people will think about you, what people think about you than the reality. And so, because of the need for validation, because of the need to want to impress, and that, just don't take note of the word want to, I already made emphasis on that, because of the need to try to show off or try to show a certain class, just take note of the word need to, try to, all of those, you then begin to do things that you would rather not do. Now, the problem is not about collecting the gift. The problem is identifying why you have to collect it, why you feel like you have to collect the gift. If you can afford an iPhone 14, why not just be proud of it? Why not just be contented with it? I mean, why not just own it? I think that's the best way to say it. Why not just
Exactly.
own your present state? Because at the end of the day, it's not even the iPhone 14 or 15 or that defines you. There are people who can afford an iPhone 17 and will not go for an iPhone 17 because they just
Exactly.
don't like it. Like, I don't even want to be personal, but let's say
Yeah.
I had all the money in the world, I would likely not have the latest iPhone. Why?
Mm.
Because I don't need it. I will just probably go for what I feel like I need at the time. Except maybe like I have a need. Like, let's say there's some features that are on it that I need, then of course I can afford it. Why not? But if
Exactly.
it's of what other people think about me, I mean, is it not Steve Jobs that people talk about, that wear very,
Very simple.
that just wear simple clothes, that wear round necks and a pants, just a simple clothes. Like, it does not try it's not trying to prove a point to anybody. He's rich, so there's no point he's trying to prove. And
Yeah.
that's one thing about this issue. Don't try to prove anything. Don't need to. Don't Once you start having to try to need to, you already need to identify that there's a defect somewhere, there's a void somewhere, there's an error somewhere within yourself that needs to be corrected. So either you do the self work or you see a therapist to ensure that you are healthy mentally, emotionally, and you heal from what could be the underlying cause. I'm saying it from a place of concern, from a place of compassion, not from a place of um picking on you, or do you understand? So I'm
Yeah.
concerned. I'm sincerely concerned. So if you want to just do what you want to do, and let it not be that your reactions, or sorry, your actions are controlled by external forces. Do you? This is what you have now. Be okay with it. Accept it. Be proud of it. Own it. Own your today. Just own it, and own it with grace. You can have at the end of the day, it's not you that defines the iPhone. It's not the iPhone that defines you. It's you that defines the objects around you. Have you not seen people that wear expensive clothes and you can't see the cloth on the person? And you see on that person, they wear cheap clothes, and then you can see the brightness and, let me just borrow the word, glory all over it. So at the end of the day, you are the one that makes what you have valuable. I can carry an iPhone 17 and
Mm.
then people cannot see anything in me. But then I
Mm.
can carry an XR, and then
Mm.
people feel like I have, like, people, the way I walk, the way I carry myself, the way I
Mm.
talk, people feel like I'm up there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have an XR in my hand. So
Exactly.
at the end of the day, it's you that find what you have, not the other way around. Don't let your
Mm.
clothes define you. Define it. Even if you have cheap clothes, wear it in such a way that
Yeah,
people will
with
be
pride.
asking you how much.
Mm.
In fact, I see that happen. Like, I don't want to be too personal, but there's times whereby I I buy some things, I wear some things, and then people are afraid to ask me with pride that I like this thing. Hope it's not so expensive, because people just assume that it's
Yeah.
so expensive because of the way I put it on, the way I wear, the way I grace.
Yeah.
While this thing is adequate, very not
It's not as
not what it
expensive as you think. It's not even close to it. You
is.
see, the mind. That's what I used to say.
End of the day, is from inside, is the
Because
mind.
you
Just
can,
like, yeah,
do you know that you can actually even have an iPhone 17 with you and still be so worthless? Sorry to use that
yeah,
word.
that's
Like,
exactly, yes,
and not attract and not even have anything of value to yourself.
yes,
Ha!
yes,
It is well. People
yes.
majoring on the minor and minoring on the major.
Exactly. So people wear blinks, and there's no glow. So people wear okrika, and there's glow everywhere.
Stop calling it
Glow.
okrika now. Say thrift.
Okay, let's say trips. Trips. Okay.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a thing about the inside. So please let's make sure that we are working on the inside. And so in one word, if you're a young lady out there and the guy is proposing something to you, you have to learn to be content and be yourself, be enough, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, be enough, like be content with what you have and understand that who you are, your value, your worth as a person is beyond your physical possessions. Because you can have that thing that you want to give up yourself for and still be even much more miserable. There is no gain or benefit in being among me. I don't even want to be among. Please.
I tell you.
I don't. When you see me in a circle, you should be able to say, this one is different. That is it. You
I
can
no
you
capping.
get you are with me, right?
Seriously, it's very
Exactly.
stressful. You get
Exactly.
it's very. You know how what the world changed? Like, do you know how many trends?
Exactly.
Like these people actually are trying, because every week there's new trend. So let's say that I buy clothes, all my clothes. Just that's what's happening with all these body surgeries
Yeah.
and all. Like
Yeah.
today is slim people that are reigning. Tomorrow
Yes.
is people
It's
BBL. So after you have already done BBL, and then the next minute, what is trending is flat. What are you going to do?
exactly. So you have to
So
learn to be at peace with
the
yourself.
world keeps changing. The world keeps changing. You buy trending clothes, and then next week it's not trending again. When you wear it, you're looking weird.
Exactly.
So all the money you have spent on that trend don't call. What are you going to? You just have to move on.
You
It's an endless. See, just
an
follow
endless
peace of mind.
pursuit.
Just be at
Yes.
peace with yourself.
Yes, such a person will be so far from what they call peace. You will be so far from it. So I'm
Seriously.
challenging you. We are challenging you to take it upon yourself to say, you see me, I will be that different person. Even if I have 30 million in my account, I will not buy that thing. I will not do that thing. You
Yes, if
understand?
I
It
want
is
to,
so
and if I want to buy it, I should be able to buy it. And if I don't want to buy it,
exactly,
I should be able to say that I don't want to buy it. If I want to buy an
exactly,
iPhone 17, I should be able to just buy it. And if I don't want to, I should not be influenced by the fact that everybody using iPhone 17. It should be my
exactly,
choice. I should want
exactly.
it. I should desire it, and then just do it. Not
And feel good
just,
about
not
it.
just, yes. Yes, please.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I really love this. Let's move on to the next question. So, okay, the next question is what would you say to a lady who has already made mistakes? Now, we have different kinds of people on campus, people who have made decisions that they are proud of, people who have made decisions they are not proud of. But then this particular person has made a lot of mistakes when it comes to relationships, when it comes to intimacy, and all of that. And then she is now probably going, or he is now going through a mental phase where he's regretting his decisions he has made in the past, decisions she's made in the past. And she's just so down. He's just so down and all of that, feeling okay, I am you understand, feeling worthless and all of that. So
Yeah,
what
I
would you
do.
say to such kind of person? If that person was with you right now, what would you say to that person, especially a student?
Yeah, I have something that guides me, and that is every day is a new day. Every day is a new page,
A new
a
slate.
new chapter. A new slate, a new chapter. So even though you made mistakes for 40 years, which is not probably even your case, but let's say it's 40, 50, 60 years. Today is a new day. Come on and see it that way. not as a cliche, but
Mm.
is a new slate. So just the good that you want to do, just start it. Just start it and
Absolutely.
forgive yourself. It's
Mm.
okay.
Mm.
Mistakes you have made, fine. Maybe you didn't have to make all those mistakes, but okay, now you have made those mistakes. They are part of your story. They are part of what will strengthen others when you want to give a speech. They are what your scars are, things that make you, and the things you learned from, the things you are learning from those past will make you stronger. So there's an example I usually like to give. What differentiates a soldier from like a civilian, a common civilian, is
Mm.
experiences. And
Mm.
trust me, the soldiers have had more terrible experiences. That's why they are soldiers. So you cannot compare the strength of a soldier to the strength of a civilian, even though both of them are human beings. So I usually try to encourage those that feel like they've had the worst past, that you are actually the strongest. It just
Mm.
depends on how you see it,
Abby, as long as
because
you're
the
alive.
experiences,
Go on,
exactly, the
please.
experiences you have had has made you stronger. The experience you have had has built you more than your neighbor. So definitely you are more equipped for life than the next
Mm.
person beside you.
Thank you so
So
much. Mm.
yeah,
Go on.
exactly.
Go
So
on. Go on.
pick up again. Pick up again. It's a new day. And that last thing I would like to add to it is that people forget. People are not looking at you like that. People are not having you in mind the way you think that they remember your story
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
So just start, and people would align. People would get used to the way people saw you, the way people felt, oh, you are a cheat, you are this. That's how people will start getting used to the new you. That, oh, you're now responsible. Oh, you're
Yeah.
now valuable. Oh, you are now intelligent. Besides, you keep meeting new people. People
Yeah.
now, people that you just met today did not know what you did yesterday. So life moves on. So just
Yeah.
start, and before you know it, you would even begin to remember less some of the things you did last
Yeah.
past in your past. And of course, any amendment you need to make, you need to do that. Any apologies you need to make, sincere
Yeah.
apologies, sincere righting the wrongs, you should do that. But ensure that you are not stuck in that past. Just do what you need to do. Apologize for you need to apologize to. Do what you need to do and move on. So far, you wake up into a new day. You break into a new day. You to just break into a new dawn and
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, it's just I really do love your response. It's just like every day is new. And you see that aspect of people not thinking about you. Like now, today now, I think this day is almost over. And honestly speaking, I have not really thought about anybody like that. Like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Even yes, I have not. So even times when there are even times where you say some things or you behave in certain ways, and then you be the one sitting and you are thinking about it, but then the other person has even totally forgotten about you. People have their lives. There are millions of people
I'm
in this
telling
world.
you.
So why do you think somebody is sitting analyzing your best believe they talk about it that day and that's all. The next day it might just you might just if I don't even want to remember, the person might just be 1%. You might just be 1% of that person in that person's thoughts and all of that. So it's really important that
Seriously.
we do not crucify ourselves, right our wrongs, just like Dr. Ayo said, and then move on. Right. All right. So last but not the least, just like how we said. Now there's a girl out there who is not as who is having self-esteem issues. She feels like, or there is a guy out there. I'm so sorry, my guys. There are people out there who are having self-esteem issues when it comes to these relationship matters or love matters and all of that, where they're feeling like, why am I not being approached? Why am I not being talked to? Why am I not being the one why is nobody looking at me in the class? There are a lot of young people, especially in the campus settings, they say a lot of things. And I know that you would have actually also come across the myth that says, if you're a lady, for instance, and no boy is approaching you, you are cursed. You are this one, you are that one. So when you grow older, you get to understand things better. But then there are young people out there in the campus who are having these issues in their hearts where they're already feeling bad. They're having low self-esteem. Nobody is paying attention to them and all of them. And then now that is not even now the issue. The issue now is that they now start moving into wanting to be one of those people who get the attention. Some go as far as now starting to look seductive, now starting to upgrade themselves in certain lights, starting to want to like they want to force themselves into friend groups that is not for them, that doesn't suit that their kind of person and all of that. So what would you say to such kind of person?
Okay, well, so let's answer the question from another perspective, because the answer is definitely not trying to be like, or wanting to, or feeling like you must, or all of that. So all of those options are definitely not the solution. So yeah, if it's a concern to you, then of course it's probably is important, because there are some people who have this and maybe it's not a concern, and let's say you're in school and all, and maybe you are still young, you are focusing on your life, you're focusing on your career, academics, you may not be really bothered about it. But okay, let's just say you are bothered about it, then it's a thing we should look into. So of course, the same protocol. Do your inner work, check yourself, just do simple things. Are you the best version of yourself? Are you dressing well? Do you look haggard? And this is not a matter of trying to be like others. It's just trying to be the best version of yourself. Do you would you want to be in a relationship with yourself? So that should be the question you should ask. Let's let's say, put yourself in the shoes of those around you. Would you want to date yourself? Would you want to date
Oh
yourself?
my.
So ensure that you work on that. If your answer is no, if you cannot boldly say yes, then you know that you still have a lot of work to do. So just forget about the border and then first work on that.
What about the
Ensure
ones that are
that
not
you
looking
groom your
haggard?
so ensure you okay. I'll get to that. So ensure you groom yourself, you work on yourself, and ensure that when you ask yourself that question, you would be ready, you readily say yes to that question. So once you feel like you are good enough, you are dateable, you have good character and good character and all, and you are still experiencing this problem, of course you should check other things. You should check your schedule. You should check where you are at, because maybe you are not visible enough. Like, I know there is a lot of things on social media where they give a lot of funny examples about maybe remote. Okay, we're talking about students now, but let's just talk general life. You work remotely, meaning that you work at home and you don't go out. You don't go out. You don't go to church like that physically. You mostly do online services. Or let's say you're in church and you just hastily go out. You don't really have friends. You keep to yourself. Sometimes it might be difficult to reach out to you because people don't know you like that. You understand? So ensure that you work on visibility. Try to be more involved in social activities. Go out, hang out, make friends, be free. Join groups, join fellowships, societies, healthy fellowships, and be involved socially. Meet with people and also be free. And then there's also a thing of patience. Maybe that as you keep growing and developing yourself, you go higher on the pyramidal scale. So let's say you are a high value person, you have done the inner work. The more you go higher, the more you have lesser people on your level, because not everyone does the inner work. For example, let's say you are faithful in a relationship. It's a common thing that many people will say that many men are naturally not faithful. Men are polygamous in nature. And then you have grown past this stage,
Mm,
whether you are a guy or you are a female. Some people still
mm,
believe that females too. Research even says that females have higher, maybe, should I use the word libido now, or higher ability to be polygamous. So some different
mm.
researches are out there. Or let's say you have done the self-work and you believe in faithfulness. The quality, many people are unfaithful. Many people have not gotten to that stage. So your of course your standards would have increased and all. So that might be some of the things that are decreasing the people that that would be courageous enough to approach you, or people that you can even accept. So try to ensure that you also change your circle. Ensure that people that are around you are people that are like-minded, that would also appreciate your values and want to associate with you. So that's also very important. So you may be too high for people around you, or you just may be too low for people around you. So is in both ways. So finally, I just want to point out something you said when you were asking the question. You mentioned that there could be a myth. There's a myth about people not being approached, that maybe something might be wrong with them, or there might be a spiritual problem. Or yeah, I would also not want to look down on that. Of course, you are a student, you are on campus and all. You may not really be, you shouldn't be that pressured. But if you feel like it's a real concern, of course, you can pray about it. You can approach your spiritual leaders concerning it. And definitely, people say that the spiritual controls the physical. So if there is any, just ensure that you check all the boxes. If you need to do if you need to do physical work, do the physical work. If you also need to be sure that you're not praying enough and all, just ensure that you are in check, or you are on point on every aspect. And of course, definitely patience. You'll be okay. You'll be all right. You'll be all right at the right time. At the right time. What just believe God that what is meant for you will not pass you. What is meant for you will not miss you, and you'll be okay.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much. I love the angle that you brought your response from, honestly. And I'd like to add this. For a young lady out there who is also facing this issue, I would say that you are on campus, you are a university student. Of course, you should look at yourself too, but then you might not really, really, really want to cumber your mind with that too, especially this is just another aspect. Yes, so you want to actually start, especially if you're one that your self-esteem is now attached to it and all of that. First, understand and learn that you are beautiful, you are enough, and then there is more to you than necessarily attracting attention. Yes, you can start working on yourself. Maybe you haven't just one person that is just like Dr. I already said. Maybe you are just like you yourself. Do you like you yourself? Do you like yourself? So it's just important that you learn to not base your worth or the quality of yourself or your valuability, if that is an English that I can use, based on whatever kind of attention you get. So you should focus on yourself and build yourself and groom yourself and grow yourself, and you will see how much you would glow, which is very important. All right, thank you very much. This has been an amazing, amazing conversation, and I believe that a lot of the questions that is on the minds and the hearts of a lot of us young people has been answered. And if you have more questions, you can reach out to me, and also you can reach out to Dr. Aya. Her details will always be in the caption, and you can contact her at any time for therapy, for counseling, and all of that. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Aya. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I'd say have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
It's been an amazing conversation, and I truly do appreciate Dr. Aya for joining us today. And I believe that a lot of us has enjoyed the conversations that we have had. Do not forget to follow DMA Podcast on Instagram. DMA Podcast is now available on Apple Podcasts. You can see us on Google Podcasts. You can see us on Spotify. So we're available across different platforms. So make sure that you do well to follow, rate the podcast, and also like. And also, most importantly, share this with your friends. These conversations are conversations that are rare to come by. So I'd like for you to share this with a friend that you love. Recommend DMA Podcast to young people, and make sure to follow us on Instagram. Thank you very much for staying with us. This podcast is brought to you by About the Voice, and we say that you are number one. Until I come your way again, my name is Omowumi. Bye-bye.
Dear me, keep moving on, even when the road feels long. Hope is here, your light's begun. Don't forget, you're number one. Dear me, podcast brought to you